The Force is the primary spellcaster class. While they have their own selection of weaponry, the Rod and the Talus, techniques are where their real power comes from. Mastery of the elements is what makes a Force a dangerous enemy and a powerful ally. Though the Force primarily uses techniques to deal damage, they still need a way to cast them. To do this, the Force either uses the Rod, your typical wizard staff, or the Talus, a unique weapon that is used by throwing an object that stays suspended in the air, which techniques can be cast from, allowing the Force to cast close-range techniques at a distance. While Force can use techniques of any element, they excel in fire, ice, and lightning. Forces can excel at mobbing or bossing, regardless of the element they choose, but one of the better options for mobbing is the technique Gizond, which strikes an enemy with a lightning bolt that will bounce to other nearby enemies as well, allowing you to take out large groups of enemies quickly. When fighting against bosses, generally your best choice is to pick a technique that does high single target damage that is also an element the boss is weak against, such as using the fire technique Ilfoy on a Fang Banshee. Force can also play a support role, using Shifta to grant a damage bonus to themselves and nearby allies, Deband to grant a defense bonus, Resta to heal, and Anti to cure status effects. Force have a set of powerful techniques called compound techniques. Serving as an ultimate attack, they combine multiple elements to create new abilities. Compound techniques must be added to your sub-palette and need to be charged up just like a photon blast in order to be used. They're charged by dealing damage with techniques. These are your not-so-secret weapon, as they are the most powerful techniques in your arsenal and nothing walks away from them without a scratch. Alternate versions of compound techniques exist, which are called simple compounds. These do not need to be charged and can be added to your weapon palette, but they cost a lot of PP to use, so feel free to experiment with them, but I wouldn't recommend using them very often. The ideal subclass for Force is one that increases its technique damage output, or one that adds more survivability and/or utility. For these reasons, the best subclasses for Force are Tector, which grant extra power to light, dark, and wind elements, while also making your support techniques more potent. Phantom, which allows you to cast techniques much faster and increases your critical hit rate the more PP you have. And Étoile, which limits your ability to heal yourself, but grants heavy damage resistance and increases the damage you deal with techniques. The best skill rings you can take for Force are Atomizer Fanatic, which makes you use atomizers faster, Defense Techniques, which improves your dodge and allows you to block attacks by charging techniques, Party Toughness, which increases your defense the more members are in your party, Leaping Dodge, which launches you high in the air, and Critical Strike Technique, which increases your critical hit rate and the maximum damage you deal with a crit. Lastly, a Force should focus on having a technique mag, although this changes depending on your subclass. If your sub is Phantom, you can use a Dex mag instead, and an Étoile sub can have melee, range, and technique in any combination. That wraps things up for Force. Thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, consider subscribing for more PSO2 content. This is Shadgon, signing out.